If you were slightly underwhelmed by the Axle bow, then maybe Discord is something you should go and get. It's one of the new mysterious strange weapons that's been added to Grounded 2 in the Toxic Tangle update. It's got a random chance with critical hits to give a random effect to enemies. And you'll find it on top of the pumpkin trellis. Also a pumpkin seed, which you'll need if you want to go ahead and craft even more amazing smoothies by the time you get to the end game. And yeah, I'll discuss the differences between the loot bow that you'll be able to craft with cricket bits compared to obviously the Discord bow. Let's go. I highly recommend you bring a all-weaver buggy for this, and don't forget the all-weaver buggy eggs have now all been moved to the northern hedge. Head to where the trellises and the solar panels are, just south of the greenhouse, and obviously it's where all the pumpkins are. And effectively, you just got to make your way up. Now, it can be challenging. There are multiple routes, so I'm not necessarily going to sit here and guide you through each and every branch. But what you should be looking out for is a small junction box, which actually is a laboratory where we're going to get the pumpkin seed. Now, the pumpkin seed gives a whole ton of extra basically effects on any smoothies that you craft. You won't be able to use it though until you've gone ahead and got the Ponic patch, and that's something you get as a reward for basically beating the boss. I have just done a recent guide on that as well, so if you're having trouble getting into the archive center and maybe getting Burgle's OS chip, then go and watch that. So yeah, where we've got chocolate chunks that give you more health, bubblegum that gives more length in terms of your smoothies, the pumpkin seed just accentuates it all. I tried finding out some stats about it, but I couldn't get hold of them just yet. Hopefully that will be coming in another video in the future. Now, not much of a guide if I'm just saying climb, but there is one little tip. The actual black wire that you see snaking its way all the way up, that's a good way to actually follow. It does go directly to the box that you need to find, so yeah, keep going along at them as much as you can. You might need a tier 3 axe if you want to go ahead and get a bunch of pumpkin stuff. But up here, obviously, just like in the rest of the pumpkins, there will be dangers inside, and you really want to risk it when you're trying to do another objective. It's probably easier places to go ahead and get pumpkin pieces. But this last one here does make life a bit easier in terms of getting to the junction box that we need to hit. So once you dealt with any enemies, if you climb the actual silk webs and then get up here, you should be able to break through and carry on. Keep following the vine up, and yeah, you can see now we're pretty close to the junction box that's got the laboratory in it. Let's go inside. There's obviously some lore notes, but the most important thing is picking up the Pumpin seed. A pumpkin seed enhanced with gloom sap enhances the power of smoothies. The lore note basically talks about Wendell actually being some of the brains behind, as you would expect, the new Ponic patch, which can grow more advanced crops. There's actually quite a few of the pumpkin seeds lying around in this laboratory, so make sure you have a good look around. One table particularly has got all these on, so yeah, make sure you grab them. And then if you go through the doorway, there's another corridor, again more pumpkin seeds in that corridor and more of the lore. And there is another lore note on the floor next to a piece of bombardier beetle. And that's pretty much it. You'll have a exit points. There's actually 2 entrances into this place. Now we just need to get to the very top of the trellis, and there'll be some solar panels where we're going to go ahead and fight a creature if you really want to before getting the Discord bow. So obviously just keep making your way up, and eventually you might have to go outside of the trellis to get to this next bit, and then you should be on top where you can then take on a ogre cricket. Ogres are the new creatures. You've probably seen a couple of them lying around if you've been doing lots of other quests. They hit quite hard. I think they do more damage than regular orc creatures, but they've also got kind of similar health, so they're not actually that hard to defeat as long as you've got lots of heals or you're good at parrying. And really, you don't even have to take him on if you really don't want to. The actual bow is just underneath one of these solar panels. But yeah, look out for their attack with their hind legs where they spin around. That's probably one of its most deadly. And its jumping leap attack. Don't forget to peep it if there's not, in case there's another one. And then you need to take a look down below the trellis and you'll see a pipe. Now you've got to make sure you're on the right end of this pipe. So this one here we can see more of the base we don't really want to get on. In fact, we want to get on this side here. And there you go, propped up, another one of the mysterious stranger's weapons. So remember, these are pretty much copies of some of the new weapons you can craft. So you can get the cricket bow. I actually prefer this one over. The cricket loot bow gives soothing sonata, which has a 35% chance when hitting a target to give nearby players and buggies a healing buff. So it'll heal you 0.5 health every 25 seconds for 10 seconds, basically giving you 20 health. For the buggies, definitely a lot more, better improvement for 60 health for pretty much over 20 seconds. For the Discord bow itself though, when you do perform a critical hit with it, it's got a 35% chance to lower the target's attack by 15% for 10 seconds, a 35% chance to lower the target's movement speed by 40% for 5 seconds, or a 25% chance to apply 8 stun every second for 2 seconds. I've definitely got more used to using my buggy in combat and stuff, especially with the ladybug, it does help a lot. But yeah, I just prefer Discord compared to just the regular loot bow. So you can see the regular cricket loot bow does a little bit more damage, but you have got a tiny bit more critical hit chance with the Discord. So if you run in a crit build, I'd say definitely go for this as your backup, obviously, to your two-handed icicles or venom build or the new dust fangs or crimson reapers. If you are using your buggies quite a bit, then yeah, definitely go for the cricket loot bow instead. Also, something to bear in mind that the wolf stringer is actually exactly the same in terms of stats as the Discord bow. And of course the wolf stringer doesn't have any additional buffs. So for sure, go ahead and upgrade at least to the Discord to get that chance of being able to have a random effect. But of course the Black Fang Great Bow is still going to offer a lot more stun, so they could probably do with giving the wolf stringer some sort of boost. Now to go ahead and craft it in case you lose it, you will need a cricket loot bow. To craft that, you can need at least 1 cricket drumstick, 2 cricket parts, 3 lint rope, and 1 lingonberry leather. So yeah, it's pretty easy to get, given you only need a tier 3 axe. Some gloom sap and fabulous femur. You will need a tier 3 axe to obviously go and get the gloom mushrooms, and then just run them through a grinder. And then the fabulous femur, well actually it's not that hard to get hold of. You get 4% chance of getting it dropped by just any cricket that you take on. Any regular orc cricket or any of the ogre OGRR crickets, and then you get a slight more increase, a 5% chance from taking any named ones. So you will find private bouncer, ORC cricket, and a 3% chance from orc crickets participating in raids. If you're wondering what's going on, well obviously trinkets are now used to craft additional special weapons from the mysterious stranger. So you don't really still want to lose any, and if you're making any for some of your friends, you better let them know how much you grinded to go and get that bow from. In some cursory testing in creative mode, it triggered maybe 3 times eventually, but that was out of about 25 shots. You did notice the slowdown, you may have seen also there the stun effects from it. So an upgrade on the wolf stringer, useful for backup if you're a critical build, otherwise use other bows if you've got big plans to use more of your buggies in combat. So there you go, let me know what you think about the bow. Obviously I will be doing another guide showing the pumpkin seed once I take a good look at farming in general. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. Leave a like, rat bags, and I'll catch you later.